Anyway, listen, I haven't watched this footage, but obviously one of my latest videos was about the I Show Speed situation. And there was this podcast that people were talking about it. Apparently, Destiny jumped on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that on out. I'm gonna do a quick review of that and see what these niggas is talking about. So let's get right to that. I have not seen this content, so this is a 100% authentic live react.
It is. It's a great problem.
All right, I'm ready to play the game.
All right,
The name of the game is It Racist?
Oh my god!
I'm
I
playing
love it already.
See, is it racist to you?
Okay.
Well, I don't even know who is this. Like, I don't even know who these streamers are. I'm not gonna lie. Is this the Kai Senate guy? Oh, this is the Speed guy. Okay. There's like this whole new legion of like black Zoomer streamers, and for as much as they fucking talk about how like all white people did was scream at the fucking camera, I feel like that's all these guys do. I don't know. I don't know if they have more content, but holy shit. It's just not my shit. But I'm probably just getting old.
All right, I love to clip things out of context. Is that racist?
I would say so.
I can see how somebody could take that as racist. Yeah, I think it's like subtle racism. I don't think it's just, getting the back of the bus monkey racist, but it's subtle.
You didn't hear it? I heard monkey in that.
I mean, I heard a lot in it, but it was subtle racism. So the average person wouldn't hear it, but I heard a lot.
Yeah, it sounded like he stereotyped a group of people wrongly, and he's getting flack for it. I mean, I don't know how he's being defensive over people interpreting that as racist. It's pretty clear how that can come off as racist.
Yeah,
but I guess we just want to act dumb for some reason. We get backlash for shit that we do, and it's pretty obvious why we're getting backlash.
Well, what if I told you, and this might change your answer on the situation, Destiny does have a black friend.
Come
So does
on,
that make
bro.
it
Myron?
Yeah, he's trolling. He's trolling. Why do you put that in there, bro? Come
He was on the
on.
podcast. I know that.
it's racist. It's racist. That's not. It's not beat around the bush. It's racist, man.
I don't know if I would call it racist. Again, it seems like it'd be culturally insensitive. I don't know from that thing that you can say that there's like, the race is definitely causing this thing. Unless I don't know, it could change. I'm not 100% convinced it's racist. It just seems like stereotyping and discriminatory, but not racist. I'm not sure. But I mean, I guess if you want to go by the argument that yes, this can lead to racist outcomes in the sense that when Destiny does that, like he constantly will like impugn like black creators, content creators and things like that. And so then his white audience like kind of stick to their whiteness and don't really want to like venture out very much. He'll always go out of his way to find like a safe black person. Like he looks for safe black people. He'll look at people like Abba or Relevant. He'll find those kind of people, like the orbiters that can be safe, that he knows will like always like kind of suck up to him, that'll never really challenge him, or not hardcore challenge him, and like more passive. Like he'll keep those people around, but everyone else, like if you ever challenge him, he goes out of his way to like hardcore demonize you, so as to make sure that his audience, and he shapes the views of his audience towards you. It's kind of gross.
I mean, I can hear the race base in there. I heard the R loading up. He was loading up a hard R. But hey, I'm not one of those black Zoomer streamers that he was talking about. So
Facts.
let's
Have you ever heard that term before? Because when I first heard it, I was ready to be like, what the fuck you mean? It made sense though. Like when a Zoomer is a contrast to a boomer. I know everybody remember that one chick, the okay boomer girl. Like boomer was the older generation, Zoomer would automatically be deemed the younger generation. But it just felt real like I ain't heard that one before-ish when he said it.
They be saying white people don't have culture, but part of their culture is creating like slurs for people. I ain't gonna lie, they got that shit in the bag, my nigga. I ain't never heard, and mind you, they might not even get like new words. It's just a way that they say old words.
Certain stuff, yes.
Yeah, black Zoomer. Damn, my nigga. All right. But let's hear what one of those black Zoomer streamers had to say.
I don't even know where to go with this.
Good friend of the show, Kai Cenat.
Your friend.
First of all, what you're not gonna do is not gonna act like you don't know who is who, dickhead. You obviously know who the fuck I am and who the fuck Speed is. You clearly said this.
All right, like,
I don't know if they have more content. Let me tell you something, bro. Like this is the Twitter comments in a fucking like this is if Twitter comments was a person, this is what it is, bro. I don't know if they have more content.
I think the blue hair didn't help here.
What I see. Hey, you listen to me, bitch. I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't know what you do. But do your fucking research before you say shit. And clearly you are a racist. But guess what? I don't give a fuck. That's you. That got something to do with you. I will be mad if black niggas is taking control right now. I will be mad if I was a racist and black niggas got motion right now, nigga. I will be furious, nigga. I will be furious, nigga.
I don't watch Kai content, so I didn't see his response. Destiny's better than me. I'd have called his ass a monkey. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
That was a crazy. That was irrational. I don't know if that response was warranted. I don't know. I ain't.
What? How do you instantly throw out a slur? What's going on? No, bro. I came here expecting to agree with these niggas. I don't know how do you get there. How is it irrational? He's referencing the fact that, wait a minute, look, black people are doing well. Kai Cenat is literally the biggest streamer on Twitch. You remember when they had that hack and it got leaked that all the top streamers were white, like 99.9% of them? Kai Cenat surpassed all of them and became the biggest black streamer. So when he's saying black people got motion, like that's what he's referring to. So that's the rationale. Then secondly, the idea that you can criticize something, but you're not even familiar with it. To say like, oh, this is what all Zoomer streamers are. And then you ask like, what other Zoomer streamers are there? And no one can ever answer the question. What other black Zoomer streamers are there that are doing what, I Show Speed is doing? And there's no answer because he just literally tried to generalize everybody with just the one, as white people typically do. When we do something, we represent the entire race. When white people do something, they're a lone wolf. It's just the way things work. This guy immediately is like, yeah, I would call him a monkey. How do we get there? How do we get there? I don't think that's irrational. It was very rational to me.
I ain't like that. Not that I ain't like that. It's just y'all know how I feel. That was annoying. I don't know. I feel like Rage's was better. Rage's response.
Please articulate, because I don't know how you feel.
Was just yelling. You was yelling about a bunch of nothing.
A bunch of nothing. What is he talking about? These things are quantifiable. Like, nigga, I Show Speed is a 17-year-old kid that's like literally doing extremely well in these spaces. The largest content creator now is a black guy. There's always one token. But still, the fact is, yeah, there are, and that's probably someone that's part of his camp. There are people that are starting to really develop themselves on his platform. You obviously know who these two people are. For you to have your ear to the ground, as that nigga does, as much drama as he follows, there's no possible way he doesn't know who these two people are. Where's the irrationality? What are you saying? I wouldn't even. I can tell this is probably not a guy that he doesn't truly care about what he's saying. He's just saying what he says off the cuff and knows that he's not going to be challenged by his friends. This is stupid. I almost feels like it's not going to be worth my time. Knowing who they are versus knowing their content be different. Sure. But then he pretended he didn't know their names when he was like, oh, this is Kai Cenat. Oh no, this is I Show Speed. And then he said, I don't know if they do any other content, whatever, so on and so forth. Yeah.
I did see some things this weekend, or hear some things this weekend about like past Destiny, and apparently he's always been like a dickhead.
I just understand why the backlash is what it is. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that's ever been said, but I just understand how that can come off as racist and why that would trigger people.
I'm gonna play Destiny's thing.
I don't think I want to do this. Dude, I'm so bored of like the race card shit. It's just boring. And the WL community like playing the race card like all the time. Like I get it, you're black and that's tragic, I guess, but I don't care that much. It's boring as fuck to me. Honest to God,
he says this stuff like that intention to be inflammatory.
Have been like some of the most homophobic places I've been to, like openly. Like I feel like I'm back in white communities from 2012. I love that like the transphobia is just like rampant and nobody cares. Transformers, LOL. Like for me to jump in here and for them to be like, you're racist, like the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like it feels so beneath me to even like jump into that shit. I just super don't give a fuck. And whether XQC here is is trying to simp for it because he wants to be in this community or whatever, I also just don't give a fuck.
So it's really interesting to me. There it is again. It's like everyone always goes out of their way to do that. If you remember, like they were like, yo, anti-Semitism is so super common in the black community. Then it'll be like homophobia is extra. Okay, maybe homophobia might be a little bit common in conservative black communities. Like, but no more common than it is in like rural white communities, right? It's just common in conservative communities where there's like an aversion towards homosexuality, but not any more than any other community. I don't understand, like. And then to like just generalize black folks in general because of the few interactions you've had in your limited white experience is crazy as hell to me.
That ain't look good.
That wasn't.
How y'all feel about that?
I mean, I guess there's some truth. There's some truth in it. Not I guess there's some truth in it. There's some truth in it for sure. I'm not gonna act like there's not any truth in what he said about the homophobia and the racism and everything like that.
They left HTX Dante
are within. I'm not gonna say the WL community, but I'm gonna say the black community because this nigga's talking about niggas.
I don't know what the WL community is.
And that's, is that the way of like absolving yourself of any wrongdoing though? I don't personally think so. I feel like that's a weird way to respond. I ain't gonna lie to you. And just deciding that, hey,
so you think just the statement of the word is enough to like label the intent of the community? Come on,
all this because I don't want to address this because I feel like it's silly. People have real concerns about you. People have real concerns and real feelings about the things that you said. And to try to just, step on it as if you're better than them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm being serious. I don't know that nigga's content at all from a can of paint.
The sad thing is, I'm being dead serious, just like he was probably being dead serious. But you see how crazy offensive you can be when you just carelessly say shit.
I just don't understand why he feels like he's so much greater that he will not address the conversation. If people really have,
I mean, he did, didn't he?
No. To say,
you can't say that's his address of it if his address of it is basically saying, "Hey, I'm not going to address this because it's beneath me." That's not really addressing it, right?
To say that he won't continue to do it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not even going to address these. Why not? People really have concerns about what you said.
What's up? Yeah.
There is a clip going around of you across the internet from a stream of yours. Let us play it.
I don't think I want to do this. Dude, I'm so bored of like the race card shit. It's just boring. And the WL community like playing the race card like all the time. Like I get it, you're black and that's tragic, I guess.
What is WL community?
It's boring as fuck to me. Honest to God, like some of the exploding like black online communities have been like some of the most homophobic places I've been to, like openly. Like I feel like I'm back in white communities from 2012. I love that like the transphobia is just like rampant and nobody cares. The Transformers, LOL. Like for me to jump in here and for them to be like, you're a racist, like the fuck out of here.
This is the same guy that hangs out with Nick Fuentes, Lauren Southern, and other alt-right people in those alt-right circles, and he's claiming that the most like homophobic and the most like supremacist ideas, or I'm sorry, the most homophobic and transphobic ideas that he's ever experienced are all in black communities. It's crazy, bro. Come on. You got literal alt-right Nazi niggas that this nigga kicks it with, and he's talking about the black circles that he's probably never gone. The same guy, he's saying the black circles, when he comes back and so uninformed about black issues and black culture, he's asking stupid questions like, hey, can I call white women ratchet? Or is that like not okay? I'm not sure. And he's genuinely concerned. You have to see it. Bro, come on.
I hear with that bullshit. Like it feels so beneath me to even like jump into that shit. I just super don't give a fuck. And whether XQC here is trying to simp for it because he wants to be in this community or whatever, I also just don't give a fuck.
Well, fairly quiet,
God.
but
Based. Wow. Who was that base streamer?
Do you feel like you could have worded things better or no?
I mean, I can always word things better for people that are going to get upset or whatever, but do I care to word things better on this topic? Fuck no.
Why do you
do you at least understand the backlash though of like why you're getting the criticism?
Yeah,
Does that just feel like it's you know?
Dude, I've been dealing with
understandable why you're getting
snowflakes on the internet for like 7 years. Of course, I understand the backlash. Yeah, of course. People get mad over all sorts of stupid shit.
So he already like kind of labeled the people who are upset with him as snowflakes. Like, so that way, like, he's already like diminishing whatever their claims are, as if there's like no validity to the idea that he's intentionally inflammatory with his words. And this is like literally the most common Destiny trope. Say something inflammatory in a really, really snarky and like offensive or aggressive way, and then get into a debate with people and then give the milquetoast version of that argument. So then at this point, now that he's given so much context on a different argument, right? Like, or that's like significantly more passive. Now at this point, it's a little bit more palatable. So then then all of the ire that you originally had from the initial inflammatory thing is like buried underneath all of this like passive explanation and so on and so forth. So that way it's no longer offensive. And you have to remember in hindsight, like, oh, wait a minute. No, you said or did this. A perfect example of this would be like telling someone, you know, you look fat as hell. You look like you've gained all sorts of weight, right? Like telling your fiance or telling your wife, you know, you're fat as hell. You've gained so much weight. You're freaking, you're a butterball, right? And she gets unbelievably upset. Like, you know, when you get home off of work, then we're going to talk about this. And you get home from work and then you just start explaining, like, really, like, I've just been on this super health conscious tip, and it's really made me want us both to be as healthy as we could possibly be. And so she's like, but you said I was a fat butterball. And it's like, well, what I really mean is that it's just an expression. But in reality, what I'm talking about is just us getting healthy, because I love you with all of my heart. And so, and then by the time you're done, you've had an hour-long conversation, and she's really just bought into, oh, yeah, you know, I should probably get more healthy. We probably both could work out. I want to be here as long as we can for our children and for you. And so, yeah, I want to be healthier. Okay, let's do that. And then afterwards, now this is what's on her brain. And only if she's reminded or if it just pops back in her head. Wait a minute, he called me a fat butterball. And it's like, wait, no, hold on. No, let's re-talk about this. And then they just go, no, we already talked about it. I'm not talking about it again. That's the Destiny trope. I swear to you. He would say the most insane, inflammatory thing online. People would come to his stream to like debate him. Then once they get there, he argues an extremely passive version of what he's saying. And so then before long, then the person is arguing and the person starts to feel stupid. Like, wait, I'm arguing with you and I kind of agree with you because, yeah, the way you're talking to me right now makes sense. Not remembering that what he's saying now, though there might be some overlap, is mostly distinct from the thing that he said online. It is literally the Destiny trope right here.
So you just feel this is just the WL community being snowflakes, just like any other situation that's happened on the internet before?
Yeah, of course.
He's an internet bro, man. Damn. We're kind of new to this. I ain't
He's
gonna
a
lie.
vet, man. He's seen it all. No, he's a vet. He's seen it done it all.
It was an analogy.
If you want, so here's like this is like the bridge I'll extend, okay? Or not even a bridge, okay?
Here comes the milquetoast version. I swear to you, bro, I haven't seen this before. This is about to be the milquetoast version of that whole thing.
I think that I don't know if you initially saw the comments, but people got mad because I made first of all, I streamed like 10 hours a day. Okay. I made a random comment in in another context about like, oh, there are some streamers that I've seen blowing up on LSF. It seems like there's like this trend of like black Zoomer content where people like scream and tear their shirts off or whatever. I'm old. It's not for me. I don't get it. I made like a comment like that. If somebody said that like, oh, I think you're overgeneralizing, like they have more content or like Kai and Speed don't just do that or whatever. I think those are like fair comments to make. But when the first thing people do is they jump on this, like, you're so fucking racist train, it's like, bro, give me a fucking break. Like, if you're pulling out the racist card that quickly, that speaks to some level of fragility that I don't care to fucking sort of.
That's interesting because you literally immediately responded to the freaking I Show Speed video and called him racist. And then you literally applied that generality of racism to all the people that you were talking about, these black Zoomer streamers, and is racist and is transphobic and is homophobic. That's what you said. So now all of a sudden responding like, yo, for you to call me racist is just out of pocket. Literally, I could show you just page after page of his community calling me racist because I said I want to marry a black woman. Not that I don't think anybody else should. Not that I think everyone else should. Not that I don't have a problem with interracial marriage or any of those things. I want to marry a black woman. That's what I said, and that was racist of me. Freak out of here, bro.
But if Kai was to say, you know, this was a race-based thing, do you not feel like there's some fairness in that? I mean, maybe not.
I mean, it's race-based in that, like, a lot of the WL community is black.
Oh, it's WO.
Oh, shit, sorry. Whoops. Sorry, my thing just echoed. What could you repeat what you just said? I said it's race-based in that, like, a lot of the WL community is black, but I'm not, like, I don't hate them because they're black, and I'm not, like, stereotyping them because they're black. That's just, like, that's the type of content I typically see from those communities.
You are stereotyping them because they're black. Oh, it's WL. Okay. You are like stereotyping them because they're black when you start saying that this is what you see. This is what these communities are. This is what you literally did generalize all the communities. That's the stereotype.
the preference, everything that we see.
It can be both.
I did think that Kai's response was a little irrational. I didn't think that the way Kai responded was the best way to respond.
My God, and your first thing is to I'm so annoyed. I'm so disappointed in this man.
I don't watch that nigga like that.
I don't even know him, and I'm disappointed.
Really there, cool. But the Your Rage one, that one, Your Rage's comments was kind of bad. I'm pretty sure there was no like response from you to Your Rage. At least I'm not.
There might have been. I don't remember which. I watched a lot of videos. I don't remember who else said what.
Seen it was just a fucking rabbit hole of react to. So that shit's crazy. Kai's reaction, okay, who cares? But to just, I don't know, the shit I've seen. Do we have any more clips? I don't want to
bring up Your Rage's
or blend anything else. Let's watch the clips first.
People in my chat are saying I did respond to Your Rage, so I might have done a response, but there were like 5 or 10 different videos that people were making like respond to me, so I don't remember. I don't remember. Which
when did you tell me that?
What
I didn't see that.
I'm about to bring up Your Rage's clip, right?
Because I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah, this is it right here.
Turned me off. Like I was watching dude, and I see like a video on his recommended talking about some like Destiny does like a black person quiz. Like Kobe Bryant popped up on the screen, or was it LeBron? It was like one of those two. I think it was like LeBron. He's like, is that Kobe Bryant?
Okay, Kobe or LeBron? This is a very famous basketball player, okay? I know that. Oh my God. Wait, I think this is the one, right?
What do you mean the
helicopter guy, right? Am I right? Is it?
I think what they're trying to what I think they try to do is paint this narrative that, and I saw you say this, that some of your stuff is jokes and people get offended by jokes. Now, I can even see how that particular segment could be jokey. But I guess I'm asking you now, do you see how that could be offensive to somebody?
A lot of my content can be offensive. Yeah, for sure. Of course. That's like part of what I do on the internet. But racist? Fuck no. Offensive? Yeah, sure. But racist? No.
And you're fine. So. You're fine with offending them, correct?
Yeah, I do. I've been doing offensive content for like 15 years on the internet. Yeah.
I feel like there's some overlap though. Of like
between what and what?
Yeah,
between something being both racist and it's not like a mutually exclusive thing.
Well, sure. I mean, you can make racist content that is offensive. If I say anything racist, or you think I've said anything racist, you can feel free to tell me, like, "Oh, I think this was a racist comment."
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just got here and I'm dealing with reflux right now. So if I sound sped, that's my apologies. But do you feel like what you said wasn't racially insensitive though?
Which part?
I mean, low key,
grouping the WLP into just loud, overreactionary streamers, just grouping guys like Kai and Speed into this niche bubble where, like you even said in the clip, you don't know their content or anything else like that, but to just group them as Black Zoomer, which again, when I first heard it, I know.
No, don't go down this train. Don't go down this train. Oh Lord, now he's gonna go down the train of when I heard you say Zoomer, I thought that was a slur. Like nigga, do you know what that reminds me of? Look.
I mean, you somebody's nigga wearing this nigga tie.
Now you're being condescending. See, you've been warned, all right? Let's move forward amicably.
Okay, well, check this out. First of all, you're throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale.
Okay.
That's what that is. I don't know what this word means, and so I can only take it as disrespect. So since I don't know what Zoomer is, I had thought it was a slur. That's what this is. Love this movie. But you can't go saying, since I didn't understand it, I immediately got offended. What? I have, I'm not going to say who. She was in school and they had moved to Texas. She was in school and she was crying. And she came to her mom and was like, I'm not ethnic. They call me ethnic. I'm not ethnic. And she didn't know what ethnic meant. So then in that kind of a situation, like she was offended by it. Like, but she was obviously 9 or 10 years old. You can't be an adult getting offended at stuff that you don't know what it means. That's crazy. Anyway, that's what that reminds me of. When you say, I didn't know what this word meant. And so that's crazy to me. What?
just grouping guys like Kai and Speed into this niche bubble where, like you even said in the clip, you don't know their content or anything else like that, but to just group them as Black Zoomer, which again, when I first heard it, I didn't know what the fuck a Black Zoomer was, but all it takes is common sense to realize you just meant a young generation of a young Black person. It wasn't that hard. People just hear shit and overreact. Cool.
No one else was reacting to the Zoomers part. That was just you.
But
this is my impression of the WL clips that I've seen blow up on LS all the time. Is it seems like it's like Zoomer Black content creators that do like a lot of like loud bombastic stuff. That was my impression. I'm not saying all Black people are loud. I'm not saying that I think it's bad that Black people are. That's just like my impression of that community.
But you didn't specify WL. What you said was just a new wave of Black Zoomer streamers that were doing this. You didn't specify it was just them. Like that's not what you did. So when you try to like paint it as if there's this new wave of Black streamers, now you're generalizing Black Zoomer streamers, right? And which is obviously going to be the majority of people streaming nowadays, because people most of the time once they get older and stuff, a lot of people stop streaming. So that's a generalization. What?
I don't know your reactions.
What?
Do you see how some of your reactions could have stirred some shit up though?
Which reactions?
Just some of the things that you said to dismiss or just look off some of the comments you were getting from other streamers, from other WL community people. Just
if your jump to it is going to be that you're racist, of course my comments are going to be reactionary to that. But I'm not going to bootlick because I'm worried about coming off as racist. I know that I'm not racist, and there's like nothing I've said that's like even remotely approaching anything racist. The idea that like I have to be, and it's so weird too, because like even for a meme or like people putting out like that Kobe Bryant shit or whatever, I legitimately don't know what like a lot of Black basketball players and shit look like. Like if you like, I've heard the name Steph Curry a ton. I have no fucking idea what Steph Curry looks like, right? There's a lot of shit like that I just don't, because I don't watch basketball. That's just not my community or whatever. I don't know anything about it. But if I were to mix up two white people, like nobody thinks twice. Like, oh, LOL, you mixed up Brad Pitt and Matt Damon or something. Like nobody. But as soon as I mix up like two Black people are like, oh my God, do you think they're all the same? Are you racist? Like, no, what the fuck? I mix up faces sometimes.
All right. So I ain't trying to trap you, bro. And I swear to
dude, you can trap all you want.
I swear to life, I ain't one of these dudes that trying to just frame one call you racist. But I will say this: how essentially are you talking about a community that you don't know while simultaneously they loud?
Because this is the nature of like online comment or online content. People post clips of people and they're like, oh, doesn't this guy do that content? Like it happens to me all the time. People are like, oh, Destiny. I mean, it's happening right now, arguably. People are like, oh, Destiny, isn't he the racist guy? Why do you think that? Oh, I don't know. That's like the past like 4 clips I've seen. I don't know. I guess it happens. Like on LSF, usually there are clips that are posted of Kai, and there used to be of like Speed, and every clip that gets posted and blows up is usually them like screaming at somebody, tearing their shirt off.
You're literally trying your best or you're trying to characterize their streams from live stream fails. That means that these are only the stream moments that people consider to be fails or failures. Imagine that you're only going to go off of that, and then that's what you're going to be determining an entire group from. Do you understand like how like brain dead that is? And I don't think that he's too stupid to recognize this. I think he's malicious because I think he does know that. You cannot characterize an entire stream based off of live stream fails, but that's what you did. That's crazy.
Doing some crazy bombastic shit. That just seems like what happens. Like, oh, maybe that's like most of the content. Maybe it's not.
And then you didn't just generalize the streamers themselves that were on live stream fails. You just mentioned a large amount of Black Zoomer streamers, a wave of Black Zoomer streamers. No, you didn't say wave, a legion of Black Zoomer streamers. And if you were to ask name them, he couldn't. That's crazy.
Even say in those clips, I think I say in the clips, maybe there's more content. I don't see it because that's just what blows up on LSF. But like, that's just the nature of like shit that gets clipped online, right?
Yeah. I guess the thing is essentially, I guess what essentially got you in this position. Granted, I heard you say you don't give a fuck like 20 times. I do know that. I guess what has you in this situation is essentially you have like the idea that you don't really like give a fuck or whatever.
Also, thank you so much, Stinkfist 570 for the sub. Appreciate you, fam. Legitimately.
And I ain't got nothing against you. But like essentially you don't give a fuck on what you said and you standing on what you said, but yet simultaneously you then claim that you don't know this, that, this, and that, but then you have all these judgments on said community. So it's kind of like it's not that you can't lose, but more so you can't do nothing but lose when a WL motherfucker looks at your shit, right? So essentially, if you're gonna say that you don't know anything about Kai outside of clips, right?
Wow.
But then
thank you, Exodus XML. Thank you.
All you see is him screaming and yelling. So then you're gonna assume he's screaming and yelling, and I assume that you're a smart individual because the way you talking and stuff. So you have the resources, you have the knowledge to at least do some research on Kai, and quickly you'd find out that he's arguably the most creative person on the whole platform. I don't know. I didn't really like how you said what you said. Now I'm not gonna jump to the gun and call you a whole ass racist. I think that's corny. I think anytime a dude not black and they get deemed racist because they don't just scream pro black 24/7, I will agree with you that that's a bit corny. But I do gotta pause and be like, yo, you basically judging the community that you don't know, and that's whack. That's something that like people of color deal with for a long time.
That's like, it's just normal human shit. I wasn't sitting there writing a review of Kai's like entire fucking streaming career. Like, hey guys, today we're gonna review Kai's career. All he does is scream and shout.
But it's also like he's pretending that he didn't recognize. This dude is incredibly careful with like literally everything he says, right? Supposedly. Remember how he really couldn't push back on like Annalisa because he wasn't informed enough. So he made him feel very uncomfortable. Or how he had to ask the question again. I have to keep citing this one because it's just so insane to me. Hey, can a black person call? Can you call white women ratchet, or is that only for black women? Right? When you can ask those kinds of questions because you're so careful, you're not sure what you're allowed to say or whatever. But in this situation, these kind of generalizations are all problematic, but you don't know. It's just kind of just the nature of the internet, right? Freak out of here. Let me actually find that clip for y'all. It's kind of wild.
I don't want to say. I feel I'm hanging out in black communities too much, and now the words can you call white people ratchet, or is that only black women, or like busted? That's a word. Like, these women don't look.
Bro, he was dead serious.
And that's all he did. Like, it was literally a 15-second random throwaway comment on the back of like some 3-hour commentary that I don't know from the totality of my shit which 15 seconds are going to get clipped. And then people are going to act like, oh, this is Destiny's PhD thesis on the entire WL community. Like, it wasn't. It was a random 10 or 15-second throwaway comment while I was talking about like fucking Ben Shapiro reviewing Lizzo's flute playing. Like, it was a totally random comment. I didn't know that shit was going to get clipped and then blown up, and then people were going to psychoanalyze it to figure out if I got like some deep-seated hatred for black people or the WL community. When I say, real quick, because I kept saying like, I don't care. When I say I don't care, what I say is I don't care to try to like jump through the hoops to prove that I'm not racist. That's just a game that I'm like way overplaying. That when I say I don't care, that's what I mean. I say I don't.
You know what, Backlash? I think you're 100% right. Careful does imply like attempting not to offend, and that's literally the exact opposite. He goes out of his way to be as offensive and inflammatory because look at the conversations that happen as a result of it. So he's not careful. He's just particularly intentional. But then he's asking us to just say, no, it wasn't really intentional. It was kind of a passive, not, you weren't really thinking about it. When again, he is incredibly controlled with like literally everything else. Come on, man. That just seems so unreal.
Don't care. And I don't even really care about like this style of content in general. I just don't intersect with it much. But again, even in the clips that are there of me, I literally say like, oh, I might be old. And I am. I'm like 34. Maybe I'm just like not into this content. Maybe they do more and I just haven't seen it. Like I said all of these things, but everybody just clips like these 10 seconds out and then turn it into this like wacky and wild thing about like the racist dude that hates like all the WL community, which is just wild to me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that's where most of the concern comes from. With at least the subsection of Twitter that I've been seeing, it's the I don't care remarks. Now, adding context, and I know people clip things out of context all the time, but adding context that like, yeah, I've been doing this for X amount of years. This is a long time in the internet community. I've been doing this for a long time. I've done the proving I'm not racist game a million times before. Maybe on this millionth and one time, I just don't feel the need to do it. I think that's where, at least from my side, people get
please don't say Jewish in this community.
I don't want to say butthurt, but so upset about because it feels very dismissive to their feelings, what may be true feelings. And I can understand that there are people that attach themselves to movements, but I feel like there are some genuine concerns in this. There might be some people that have just discovered you this year and like hear your words and say, oh, I'm a fan of his, and then to hear their feelings be dismissed is probably the concern there.
Yeah, I'm okay dismissing some feelings. I know that like hurts some people, but I think that we're at a really cringe fucking spot in society right now where especially white people are tripping over themselves to like prove they're not racist or try to make sure that every single thing they say, like, oh, like I don't like, I don't like those people. Oh, when I say those people, I don't mean black people. I just mean that community. Oh, when I say that community, I don't mean like community of black, like that shit is like, I'm so fucking over that. And I think it's really cringe when people do stuff like that. So if people feel like I've said something like, oh my God, I think that's racist. If you think I'm racist, that's fine. Think I'm racist. I don't give a fuck. I know that I'm not racist.
But then he goes to the other extreme. First off, where he generalizes, which he now apparently from somebody they're saying that he did admit that that was wrong. And then you go to the other extreme where you start going to straight denying things that are overtly racist, like the war on drugs. I don't think the war on drugs had anything to do with racism. What if the person who literally created the policy said he created it specifically because he was racist? Well, but everyone else got behind it too. So like, yeah, I don't really know. I don't really want to talk about that. I'm just saying in general, like people have bad attitudes about it. It's like, yeah, but those bad attitudes were formed by a government who literally was racist and wanted to form these attitudes, so they intentionally inculcated people with all of this stuff to make them have these attitudes. They generated these attitudes. That's what they did. And so now at this point you can say, well, these attitudes aren't racist, but sure, but the motivation behind what caused them to generate those attitudes were racist. Nah, we're not having that conversation. Too simple. This nigga's a simpleton, I swear.
My community knows that I'm not racist. And I think eventually we're going to get to a spot where people are like, okay, maybe like to call somebody racist or to where there's like a racial aspect, we're going to need more than like a 10-second clip where somebody like overgeneralizes the content of like one or two black streamers. That's just my feeling on it. But I understand that. I guess some people are really upset about that. But I think it's because people are like tripping over themselves like in this day and age to prove so desperately that they're not racist to like all of their friends. But that's just kind of cringe to me.
It just kind of sounds like
yeah, and you like how dismissive he was when he made that statement. Thanks this person in the chat that said that. I get that you're black and that's tragic, but like, nigga, you're saying these things and you know that that's egregious in the way that it's coming out. You know that it's intentionally dismissive and offensive, but it's okay. He just does that all the time, and we're supposed to just ignore that. That's why I'm telling you, I don't plan on interacting with that nigga no more, which is good because it's not worth my energy.
You spoke on. It just kind of sounded like you spoke on something that you didn't know about, but rightfully so. Like you just said. You don't know about it, so
but I mean, like, we do that all the time. Like, has anybody ever said, like, what do you think about like this TV show? And you're like, I don't know, it's kind of shit. Like, I didn't like that. And they're like, wait, you haven't even seen it. You're like, yeah, no, but I like these are the trailers that I saw, and it's like, oh yeah, like,
yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. Like, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, yeah, like I said, like if I was doing like a big like here's like my 30-minute review of like Kai's content, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's dog shit. All he does is this. The whole WL community.
Like they just
shit.
gonna suck
then
this
I can
up.
understand people like, wait, hold the fuck on. What do you mean? You're overgeneralizing a lot. You don't like. I can understand that, but like, dude, out of like a 10-second throwaway comment, people are like hardcore analyzing my positions on it. It's like, damn, I don't engage with any of this shit.
I don't think anybody is doing like hardcore analysis. Like that sounds like this is unrealistic, right? In the same way that he's saying that his reaction was not to everything. Most of the people that are doing these reactions that are calling him racist are people that are just reacting to the individual clip. They don't know enough to be able to say, for sure, I know that this person is a card-carrying Nazi member, but what they can say is this thing comes off as racist and that's their opinion. In the same way that you generalize, you're not giving other people the ability to generalize. And you keep making this appeal. You keep saying over and over and over again, this is just what happens on the internet. People just do this. This is like, come on, this is expected. This is internet culture, yada, 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 yada. You say that over and over and over again, but it's like, but at the same time, all these people labeling me this way is totally cringe. It's totally messed up. It's beneath me, da, 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 da. But then you did the exact same thing. Help it. Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
Like if I would have known that this was going to be the comment that people were going to take and start making like, 20 days worth of reaction videos to, I guess I would have like dissected my statement a little bit more carefully before I put it out to the public,
Do you feel like a lot of this could have been avoided if you didn't have such a I don't give a fuck about?
I could say that for what he said, but my thing is, if you're going to use it as a defense, then you need to also apply it to yourself. I'm sorry, if you're going to use it for a defense for the statement that you make, then you should understand that the reaction to the statement that you made, it should apply to them as well. But you're not willing to extend that same thing to them. You wanted to extend it only partially. You wanted to extend it to you, where you can say, look, it's understandable that I said and did what I did because like this is just so on and so forth. But then at the same time, you're saying it's not understandable that they did what they did. So the second you start reacting to the other people and not extending that same charity, then you don't get the same charity for yourself. That's where the problem comes in. It's the inconsistency for me. I don't respect the fact that you can sit there and make excuses for yourself, but don't extend those same excuses from people reacting in the exact same way that you were reacting. What? How do we get there?
Proving X, Y, and Z attitude. Do you feel like that could have fixed a lot of this?
Yeah, but I'd rather take the heat for people thinking I'm racist than for me running around.
Eighth gate. Y'all let him come and tell all of y'all to get over it, and y'all are.
trying to do an apology tour for a comment that I don't think was that big a deal.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be an apology tour because I feel like you come in here. I mean, and I've been looking at our chat this whole time. It's crazy to me that people genuinely want me to sit up here and just scream "fuck you, you're racist," even though you're clearly stating you don't. You can understand why people will understand, like, see what you said was racist, wrong, or whatever. You see how it could hurt people. You understand that, but you feel how you feel. I don't know what the fuck people want me to do is here change your opinion, but you've took it. I mean. I don't know what the fuck else to go from here for real. Like I don't know what more people will want. Like I'm not saying give an apology. You don't care. There it is. I just feel like a lot of that shit could have been avoided if it was just a simple, hey,
sure. I guess like yeah,
overreacting X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, my position is like if people think I'm an asshole, I'm okay with that. If people think I'm racist, I'm not really okay with that. So
I think that's probably genuinely where my stance is. I don't think that he's actually racist per se. I think there's definitely probably some cognitive biases in there. I mean, as there is in almost all of us, but I don't think that he's necessarily racist. I think he is just a douchebag, and I think like a lot of times he uses his douchebaggery and like it comes out in ways that can like where there's overlap with racism, so people want to call him racist. But I think deep down in his core, I don't think he's particularly racist. I think he's just a douchebag.
If you want to think I'm an asshole, that's fine. I'm okay. But like racist, that's whack, in my opinion.
I don't think you're racist or an asshole necessarily. I think you just came out of a spot of ignorance. Like, for example, like even with what you're saying, to me at least, and I hope I don't sound like a chat nigga when I say it, but to me at least, it's like you said, a legion of black Zoomers or whatever, and then you're talking about two people, and that's kind of still like I don't know.
That's what I was saying.
I don't know. A legion was only two people. Like.
Well, I mean, it's like the two most popular creators.
But you can't use the two most popular creators and say it's a legion. That's the problem. So this is not a defense. You can't say, oh, I see two of them and these are the most popular and there's a legion. Legion means a whole wave of them. Means a whole lot, right? Or else you would be able to say there's a whole legion of like completely dominant black streamers that are like taking over Twitch. You can't say that because it's only two of them, right? Really only one because the other one's not taking over Twitch. So you can't say legion, but you did say legion. So you did try to argue as if there was like some huge wave. That's where the problem comes in.
Right?
Right. But that ain't everybody. And I don't know. I think it just comes down to, bro, truthfully, when you say the things you say, I do a lot of times, trust and believe. You see, like trust and believe, even with this podcast right here. I go back and forth with this chat all the time. So I know what it's like to essentially say something to essentially counter a trend that you see that you don't really fuck with. But I think when you use such colorful language to a point that you're gonna get backlash, and while I'll give you this, you definitely taking it. But I think if you had the idea of like, oh, why are people even assuming me to be racist? Well, dude, you did essentially say it's a legion of black Zoomer black Zoomer streamers that all they.
I wish I knew these people's names. This is the only one I got respect for. Like this one, he doesn't even know him, so I can't really. It's really just this dude on the left. I'm just so disappointed. I'm just so disappointed.
It was shit talking, yelling camera for 40, 50 hours or whatever. That throws people off when you say stuff like, what was it about you're black and that's tragic or something like that. When you say that sentence, that's how that's gonna sound too. So I think it's just, if you don't care, that's fine. Don't, but you at least got to understand the backlash you're gonna get when you use such colorful language. Because that was kind of like that sentence. If I had seen that just tweeted, I would have thought you were racist. But I'm hearing yourself right now. I don't think you're racist. But like, if that was just a tweet.
Remember what I said? There it is. So if you just tweeted that out, yo, I get it. You're black. That's tragic. People are going to be like, yo, da, 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 da. And then when you get there and he's going to go and give a milquetoast version and be like, what I'm really trying to say is that it's more so that like, I understand that like people a lot of times can feel oppressed because of the color of their skin, but I feel like people weaponize it too much. And that's what I'm really saying. Right. And so then we go with the milquetoast version. So then it's like, wait a minute. So now at this point, it's kind of hard because you can say, well, this is what I meant. And we can say, well, this is the way that came off. And then he can say, well, that's up to your interpretation. And then at that point, now we're just having an argument of subjectivity. It shouldn't be subjective. It should be, you chose those words. You're a very articulate nigga, not even half as articulate as I am, but you're a very articulate person, not a nigga. So then at this point, then it makes sense that you knew how those words are going to come off. You're incredibly selective with your verbiage. So then you did that on purpose. That's the point. But now when you get here, it's like passive. Like, no. But I'm really saying this and so on and so forth. This is exactly what I said happens every time.
Blank says you're black and that's tragic. ... I'd have been like, what the fuck?
Sure, but like, what am I saying there? What is that sentence?
I'm interpreting it at least as essentially you're saying that a lot of black people try to push their own struggles towards
exactly.
That's the best I could interpret that as.
I don't
think I got that from the clip that you watched. I say
okay.
That.
I feel like, I mean, like, maybe not like the 10-second clip, but like
now we're arguing interpretation. Bro, it's so painfully obvious. This is literally everything he does. It's gross. I don't do
10-second clips. So like if you're watching a clip of me that's 10 or 15 seconds long, that's not my content. Like I can't help how anybody could cut up like 15 seconds of a message of mine or whatever. But again, like I said, like I understand there's a lot of shit that I say that pisses a lot of people off. It happens. And if somebody wants to think I'm an asshole, that's fine. But racist, that just kind of irritates me. But I mean, that's basically where I'm at with it.
I don't think you're racist. I think you just spoke a little bit too wildly to then not give a fuck. So as a result, it comes off as ignorant. I don't think you're a person that's necessarily uninformed. Or maybe I want it.
Sure, maybe about like Kai and Speed's content.
Let me take that back entirely. I do. Yeah, let me take that back. I do think you're uninformed, but I do not think that you're just some dude that is just ooga booga, me no like black people. I don't think you're that OD.
That's so crazy because of course his followers did, and when I did my response video, then they were doing the ooga booga thing. So it seems to me like, yeah, this is exactly the same trope. And honestly, I wish I could be the nigga that could be like, yo, I'm the genius that figured this out. I wish I could say that, but I'm not. Who actually discovered this was my boy Jeff. He was the one that really broke it down to me. Another perfect example of this happening when it got put out there that Destiny says the N-word a lot behind closed doors, and he had a bunch of private usage of the N-word. The conversation stopped being like that got exposed. Someone put it out there like, yo, you know, he does this all the time. And the conversation shifted from the fact that he was doing that all the time to a conversation around the idea of, is it okay for a person to tell jokes if they have the N-word, or can someone rap along with lyrics that have the N-word? That's where the conversation shifts. It's like what do they call that? A Mott and Bailey? That's literally what it is. He's just like, oh, okay, like we're arguing, and then he just goes on and continues whatever the hell he's doing. So to me, I feel like this is that thing. Listen, I love you guys. This has been I like this stream. So this is what happens. And I'm noticing it's like really, really, really common. Niggas are willing to like debate Destiny, or they think they are, and then again he does the very passive, comes in there, be really chill, and then it feels like really bad because the takes that he's presenting here, none of them are so damnable. It's the stuff that he says, like whatever, like, you know, I get it, you're black, like that kind of stuff, or, you know, can I call white women ratchet, or, you know, it's this wave or this legion. The only nigga that has smoke for him was a person in the bottom right. That's a person I would want to build with. I don't know the other three. And of the other three, maybe the one on the top right might be possible to build with. I can't deal with this. I can't. I was disappointed the second he mentioned the Zoomer thing. It was just like, please, bro, don't hit me with the Kevin Hart tech.